Why people use insurance agents or brokers. Stay tuned for details.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the show that, really tries to cut through all the noise and get to the insights you need. And today we're tackling a topic that often feels, well, let's be honest, more like a dense jungle than a calm lake. Insurance. It's all that jargon, the tiny print, what feels like a million options. It can be really intimidating, can it? So the big question for all of us is, how do we actually navigate this? How do we get what we truly need without just feeling completely lost? Well, our deep dive today is all about the role of insurance agents and brokers. It's often underestimated, I think, but really crucial. Why do so many people rely on them? Maybe you do. To figure this out, we've been digging into a really great source, The Advocate's Guide to Insurance.
Exactly. And our mission today really is to unpack how these professionals are. Well, they're not just salespeople. The source calls them guides and advocates. And that source, the Advocate's Guide, it makes it super clear. They help you get the right coverage at the right price. And maybe just as important, they help you avoid those really costly mistakes, the ones that can mess up your financial security. So yeah, think of this deep dive as your shortcut to understanding their value. It's pretty undeniable in a world that's always changing.
Okay, let's unpack that core idea then. Guides and advocates. The Advocate's Guide to Insurance really hammers this home. But what does that actually mean? For someone just trying to protect their family, secure their future, their assets, it sounds good, guide and advocate. But how does that translate into real help for you listening right now?
Well, it's powerful because insurance is complex, right? That's the starting point. As guides, they're like translators. They take all that confusing stuff, policies, exclusions, deductibles, and put it into plain English. It's like trying to read a technical manual in another language sometimes, isn't it?
Totally.
Agents simplify it. They make sure you actually get what you're signing up for. They light the path, not just hand you a confusing map.
Okay, so that's the guide part. What about the advocate role?
Right. The advocate part. This is where they really step up and act for you. It's not just explaining, it's fighting your corner, basically. They use their knowledge, their connections, to get you the best possible coverage and price for your specific situation. They're looking out for you, trying to prevent those common problems, like being underinsured when something bad happens, or maybe paying too much for stuff you don't even need. So it provides that clarity and protection you need, making sure you're not just covered, but properly covered. It's about being proactive, not regretting it later.
That makes so much sense. Getting the right policy, not just any policy, like getting something tailored. And that leads perfectly into the specific reasons the guide talks about. This is where it gets really interesting. The Advocate's Guide lists 5 specific benefits. Let's break those down. Starting with, I guess, the most fundamental one, expert advice. What kind of expertise are we really talking about here? It sounds broad.
It is broad, but it's also incredibly specific when applied. It's a deep understanding of the whole insurance world, not just knowing the names of policies. It's about the subtle differences, the conditions, the jargon that's everywhere.
Yeah, the jargon can be a killer.
Definitely. Things like, subrogation, or the difference between actual cash value and replacement cost.
Okay, wait. Actual cash value versus replacement cost. I think people hear that, but maybe don't fully get the difference. Could you break that down quickly? It sounds like it could be huge.
Oh, it's massive. Absolutely huge. Actual cash value, ACV, means the insurer pays what your damaged item is worth today, factoring in depreciation, age, wear, and tear. So your 5-year-old roof gets destroyed. They pay you for a 5-year-old roof, not a new one.
Ouch. Okay.
Whereas replacement cost value, RCV, gives you enough to buy a brand new equivalent or rebuild with new materials.
Right.
No deduction for depreciation.
Wow. Okay. That's a critical difference. Knowing which one you have is vital.
Exactly. And agents understand this stuff inside out. They also master the fine print. That's where all the exclusions and limitations hide. And their expertise means they can recommend coverage that's genuinely tailored to your needs, like you said. It's not one size fits all. If you run a small business with cyber risks, your needs are totally different from someone buying their first condo, right?
Right.
They spot those unique needs, match them to the right product, even suggest ways to manage risk beyond just buying insurance. You just don't get that from clicking buttons online. It's that human knowledge.
That tailored aspect really hits home. They're problem solvers, not just salespeople. Okay, number 2 in the guide. Time saving. This seems obvious, but how much time are we really talking? Especially now with online quotes everywhere. Is it just convenience?
It's incredibly significant, actually. And yeah, it's more than just convenience. The guide puts it plainly. Instead of calling multiple companies yourself, they compare policies for you. Think about doing it yourself. It's not just the hours calling, entering data, comparing quotes from maybe 5, 10 companies.
Yeah, been there.
Right. Answering the same questions over and over, different websites, trying to make sense of it all. But it's also the mental drain, the risk of missing a discount an agent knows about or getting the wrong coverage because you're just overwhelmed. An agent has relationships with carriers, access to their systems. They know who's offering good rates for someone like you right now. They can do in like a few hours what might take you days or even weeks of pure frustration. It lets you focus on your life while they handle the insurance headache.
Yeah, outsourcing the headache. I like that. Okay, moving on. Benefit number 3, claims assistance. This feels like a moment where you really need help, when something actually happens. How do they support you then? Why is that so critical?
It's absolutely vital.
Yeah.
Because this is when the policy has to actually work, right? When you see its real value. The guide says they help you file claims, follow up with insurers, and this is key, negotiate fair settlements. Think about it. You've just had a loss, a car crash, a fire, whatever. You're stressed out.
Yeah, definitely not thinking clearly.
Exactly. Remembering details, understanding paperwork, gathering documents, knowing what to ask the adjuster. It's tough when you're upset. Your agent is your main contact, your expert guide through that whole confusing process. They make sure everything's submitted right, on time. They chase the insurer so your claim doesn't just sit there. And crucially, they advocate for you in the settlement negotiation. They know what's fair based on your policy and the damage. They stop insurers from lowballing you, potentially. Having that experienced person in your corner during such a vulnerable time, it makes a huge difference. For your finances and just your peace of mind, they're like your policy's crisis manager.
An invaluable lifeline, it sounds like, making sure the policy actually does its job when you need it. Okay, benefit 4, risk assessment. What's this about? It sounds proactive. What kind of risks might we overlook that an agent's spots? How does that help prevent future problems?
This really shows how they go beyond just selling policies. It is proactive protection. The guide says they identify risks you might overlook and suggest ways to protect against them. Think about subtle risks, things you don't immediately see, like do you have enough personal liability if your dog bites someone?
Oh, good point.
Or what if a big storm knocks your tree on your neighbor's new roof? We focus on the big things, car crashes, fires. But agents spot these less obvious things that could still ruin you financially. They'll ask questions about your life, your hobbies. Maybe you collect expensive art or have a big workshop, any side businesses.
Things you might not think are relevant to insurance.
Exactly. Like if you start an Etsy shop from home, you might suddenly need business liability. Or what about cyber risks if you work from home now? It's about foresight, seeing trouble before it arrives. By finding these blind spots and suggesting coverage or even changes you can make, they help you build a proper shield, not just patch things up afterwards, preventing problems before they blow up.
That proactive piece feels incredibly valuable, shifting from just buying insurance to actually managing risks smartly. Okay, last one from the guide, ongoing support. Is it just a one-time deal when you buy the policy, or is it more of a long-term relationship?
Oh, it's definitely meant to be a lasting relationship. And that's a huge difference from just clicking buy online and dealing with an app, I think. The guide says their help extends throughout your policy's life. That means renewals, coverage adjustments, questions. Your life changes, right? You buy a new car, renovate your house, have kids, start a business, get that vintage guitar.
Yeah, always something changing.
And each change impacts your risk and what insurance you need. An agent is that consistent person you can call. They reach out at renewal time, not just for payment, but to review everything, make sure it still fits, check for better rates. Got a weird question about what's covered, need to adjust things after a life change. They're there. This ongoing relationship keeps your coverage relevant as your life evolves. It provides continuous peace of mind. They're kind of invested in your long-term security, helping you adapt.
Wow, okay. So putting it all together, what the Advocate's Guide to Insurance really shows is this comprehensive, continuous support from agents and brokers. From that initial tailored expert advice, saving you time comparing policies, crucial help during claims, proactive risk assessment, right through to ongoing support. It's way more than just buying something. It's a partnership.
Absolutely. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, it's clear why the guide calls them guides and advocates. They really are essential in this complex insurance world. Their role isn't just sales. It's strategic. It's personal. It evolves with you. They simplify things. They protect you. They represent your interests. Ultimately, their real value is helping you dodge those expensive mistakes and getting that peace of mind, knowing you're properly protected against, well, whatever life throws at you. And this brings up an important question maybe for you listening. Considering how much our lives, our assets, the risks we face, how much everything keeps changing, how might that ongoing relationship with an agent, that advocacy, become even more essential for your long-term security? Think about that human element, the personal advice, the dedicated support, especially in a world pushing towards automation. Maybe having that trusted human guide who really knows you is more valuable now than it's ever been.